Thanks, Jordan, for that update. Well, this morning, the National Council of Skin Cancer Prevention has designated the Friday before Memorial Day as Don't Fry Day, and it's just a small part of National Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah, that's right. Joining us this morning is Dr. George Osei, an internal medicine physician from MUSC Health Primary Care. So, Dr. Osei, thank you so much for being here with us.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the importance of identifying skin cancer. Why is it so important just to be able to identify it?
So it's important to be able to identify skin cancer early because there are certain types of skin cancer that are very deadly, especially melanoma. So about 20 Americans daily die of melanoma. So it's very, very important for primary care physicians and other providers to be aware of what's going on and get patients to prevent skin cancer.
20 Americans daily. That is definitely a large number just for a daily rate there. Talk about those rates here in South Carolina and skin cancer when it comes based to race.
Absolutely. So rates of skin cancer in South Carolina parallel those of what we see in America. So about 1 in 5 Americans are going to develop some type of skin cancer before the age of 70. Now, when it comes to racial implications, people with darker skin tones have a little bit more SPF protection in their skin because of the increase in melanin. But even with that, we still recommend that you use sunscreen no matter who you are.
Well, 1 in 5 people will be diagnosed with some form of skin cancer. Quite a startling statistics there.
Right. Yeah.
Talk about how we can check for skin cancer at home.
Absolutely. So what you want to do is you want to look for any kind of moles or lesions that are evolving in nature. So if it looks like they're starting to bleed or crust, get larger, or the borders are starting to look irregular or asymmetrical, that's definitely when you want to reach out to your primary care physician for evaluation.
Absolutely. And Dr. Osei, I know me myself, when the months get hotter, we're sweating more as well. So like you mentioned before, that sunscreen can be so important. And I know, of course, a lot of, black communities might think, oh, we don't need sunscreen. It's not needed.
Right.
Talk about those SPF numbers specifically and other things that we can do to prevent skin cancer.
Absolutely. So there actually was a study that showed that the darkest skin phenotype confers an SPF of about 13, which isn't high enough to protect you from skin cancer. We want patients to have an SPF of at least 30 or higher in their sunscreen, preferably using a titanium dioxide or zinc oxide sunscreen to give you the optimum protection.
So Memorial Day weekend is upon us. Talk about, people will be heading to the beach, to the pools. Talk about, protecting their skin in the sun.
Absolutely. So things that we want people to be mindful of are sort of when you're outside. So between the hours of about 10 and 2, that's when damaging UV rays are at their highest. Other things we want people to be mindful of are to make sure that we're wearing proper protection. So sunglasses, hats, long sleeve shirts if possible. We also want patients to remember that, again, applying that sunscreen often is very, very necessary. You want to make sure you use a broad spectrum water resistant sunscreen.
And Dr. Osei, really quickly, as we're touching on that, people putting products on as they head out to the beach or to the pool, talk about oils, tanning sprays. Are they a good idea to put with your sunscreen or should they be avoided?
Right. So tanning sprays can be used with your sunscreen. We actually would recommend you do that over using tanning beds. Also, the vehicle through which the sunscreen gets on you is important. So for children, you might want to use sprays. If you do use sprays, just spray it in the palm of your hand until it forms a puddle, and then you can apply it on the necessary areas. For some people, gels, lotions, and creams also work best.
And then what about children or the elderly? Should they take extra precautions?
Absolutely. So the very young and very old are very susceptible to absorbing those UV rays. So we definitely want those populations to really be careful and do proper skin cancer prevention.
Dr. Osei, thank you so much. This is definitely going to be some much needed information as we head into the summer months. We know about the South Carolina heat, so you want to make sure that you are protected out there.
Awesome.
Stay with us. We got more Sunrise after this.